I think in some ways, if people were to trace what they really wanted in life all the way in and to its very root, I think they would want to feel themselves conscious without the tightness of fear at any level. In other words, to know that they're safe. And real safety must be independent of circumstances. Otherwise, it's conditional safety, which isn't safe. It's like love. If it's conditional, it's not the real thing.
Can you give an example of what you mean by that?
Conditional love is the parent says to the child, I'll show you love if you bring home A's, but not if you bring home C's. Parents do it all the time with their children. When the child behaves in ways they don't like, they withdraw love.
And what about for safety, when you say conditional safety and knowing it's safe, independent of circumstance? What do you mean by that?
Well, if my safety depends on my partner being faithful, my child being off drugs, the economy not collapsing, my not getting cancer, a few more dozen, and if all of that takes place, then I'm going to postpone the inevitable unsafety when I get old enough and finally come to death. So, to me, it's really clear that if it's safe to die, that everything is safe. And if it's not safe to die, nothing is safe. And there's an interesting conclusion from that, which is what happens doesn't affect my safety.
Can you speak more about that?
Well, either it's safe to die and everything is safe, or it's not safe to die and nothing is safe.
And
In both of those, what happens doesn't matter.
so what conclusion have you come to?
First of all, I'm a work in progress. What I like to take my stand in is safety. And safety means you start safe, and your safety is eternal. Nothing negative could happen to you by nature of who you really are.
And when you say by nature of who you really are, what do you mean?
The ocean wouldn't lose one bit of safety when a wave is crashed on shore and split into smithereens. And, the wave feels like something is lost, and the ocean doesn't. So that's sort of what I mean.
And how have you found that in your own personal journey through the last
I've
80
had moments in my life that represent but a very small percentage of my total conscious life. But they were so intense and so kind of right on with making sense out of everything for me that I feel I have better, more reliable evidence that that's where truth lies than my normal daily consciousness. I trust it more.
Are you saying that it was truer than what you experience in your daily consciousness that showed you a deeper truth?
I'm saying I was not without an intellect during this time, although the experience was way beyond anything the mind can conceive. But the intellectual part felt very good about the way it all happened and about my consequence, that there's another level of consciousness, a different dimension, a different layer, in which there's nothing to be lost or threatened. And when there's no more threat, then you're safe. And something very, very deep can relax all the way down to your core. And in that relaxation, miracles burst forth.